And so we have more epic for you all. We have more epic. We have Sage and AnnaBlanca. So if you give them a very good warm welcome, they may throw you a chocolate party. Was that a warm enough welcome? Did they win? Did they win? It was pretty good?
Yeah.
Could they do better?
Maybe 10% more.
10% more. 10% more.
He can soak up any amount of love someone gives him. Like,
Yeah, soak it up.
that, right?
Okay, so we always ask everybody what their blueprint is. Do you guys know what your blueprints are?
Actually, I filled it out online, and very interesting, very sensual with sexual, and so is he. But with a
Where we
different
really match up
percentage.
well.
A little, almost the same
It's
percentage.
like yin and yang, the spiritual are with everything. It's kind of cool. I like that.
Cool. Cool. So now we know what they are. So let's practice just giving them a kiss right off the bat. So
Oh,
we got
right.
sexual, sensual, is that what it was?
Yeah,
Okay, sexual, sensual. Choose. No, let's do this side of the room sensual and this side of the room sexual. I changed my mind. Sensuals, sexuals. Here we go.
Ooh, that was nice. Which one was that one?
I did both. I
Oh, it's
cheated.
complicated.
I went,
Oh, you're so
You know how to pull it all off at once.
I don't know if I could do a shapeshifter kiss all at the same time, but I bet I could figure it out.
If anyone can.
So I wanted to start by having you tell us a little bit about your background, because I don't know a whole lot of your background. So
Every time we met, we were
I'm
talking about other things.
We are.
Especially about your boy. Oh my
Yeah,
God. I have such a crush on this little
he's
kid.
sick. He's so sick right now. He never wants us. He's like, go away, parents, so he can go play. And he said, Mama. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry that I can't be there. And he goes, it's okay. Oh, what a sweet boy. So let's all send a little healing to him.
Yes, definitely.
He's had a fever and he's really sick. So a little bit about your background and a little bit about how the two of you met, because I love other couples who, are sharing and working together. It's an interesting dynamic to share a bed and a business and all kinds of
We
fun
always
things.
actually say that if you don't work with your significant other, you see each other a couple hours at night and you spend some time together on the weekend. But our 6-year relationship is like an 18-year relationship in other words, because we share an office, which there's a lot of sexual harassment going on in an office. And whereas can you really work naked? It's great.
It's the best workplace
So fun.
ever.
And you're like, honey, I'm hungry. I'm like, I'll be right back. It's great.
It's great. I love it. So tell us about your background in, I met you at the bar, and then how did this whole thing come to be?
Yeah, so first I guess let's go through our backgrounds and then we can talk about how we met and go from there,
Okay.
just to go in a timeline that makes sense.
Okay.
So I kind of grew up a little bit around the health and wellness world and then got really into health and nutrition passionately when I was about 18. I wanted to be able to surf more and be healthier. I was also interested, at that age in being able to have a little more sexual prowess and get into things that would make me better in that way. And
You're grateful for that.
yeah. I first came across the Tao of health, sex, and longevity when I was like 15, and just like, whoa, you can be more than just like a normal man if you really, put your mind and body to it. So that kind of like planted a seed that showed me there was something more possible.
He was the first man I ever met who knew how to have multiple orgasms without ejaculating.
Wow.
I was like, what just happened here? What? How old are you? What? And he was, that was a shock.
That was a treat. Okay, now they want you to give sex lessons instead of
He was,
So as I delved into the world of health and nutrition and then more into traditional herbal systems of indigenous cultures, I would incorporate new things into my life and then start feeling a lot better from them. And then I would get more excited because, wow, I've been missing out on this for the past 18, 20 years. Like, what else is out there? And then I would learn more, incorporate more, feel better. It was just this fantastic benevolent cycle. And I was so passionate about all of it, and then it came to the stage of sharing it with others, of course, because when you find something that's been so beneficial in your life, it's so much fun to share.
How many of you relate to that? You find something amazing, you would share it with everybody. Yeah. But if you don't understand our snapping, it just means we agree with you.
Oh,
We
thank
love it
you.
when we agree with you,
Thank
so
you.
that's what snaps mean.
Well, I was born far away from where he was born. I was born behind the Iron Curtain in Hungary and grew up in a countryside.
Someone else from Hungary. She's so hungry.
You and I both.
But really it was a magical childhood. Kombucha, royal jelly, people and raw food, fermented foods, raw meat.
You grew up with all that.
All that stuff, like infrared light if you had headaches, eating mud. Like I remember actually literally one time my mom was yelling, Paul, the kids are eating the chicken shit. Like really, it was on the ground. And it's like, it's good for them, it's phosphor. Like, really, I really eating them. I didn't know that all the things were good probiotic even if you're just eating the mud. So all these things are pretty much part of our life now because it's part of the modern wellness movement. And one of the great things I really love about our culture that we grew up without any shame or overprotection about sex. Like I know we were like comparing little pee-pee makers with the neighbors' boys and the parents thought it was sweet. You have something different, can I call it? And like, oh, this is good. And they were like, oh, let's call a therapist. No, that's kind, it's good for them. Like run around naked and touch each other. It was completely understood that it's us, and later we talked about sex. We make sure you don't get pregnant because your father took off his hat and I had 4 of you. And I'm the oldest of 4 children, so it was just really part of all my life. I was like, oh, sex, that's great.
I love that. How many of
And then I
us
met this
had
guy.
that experience of growing up? Yeah, a few of us did.
Yeah, so I think it's great. It's really beautiful.
And so in 2011, I was just moving back from Australia, where I'd gone to work for a while. And I walked into the tonic bar at Air One and saw a very beautiful woman standing there at the bar. And of course, on principle, I just had to go say hello.
Guess
And
who was
that
standing
was
next to me? Joy and Jay.
And next to her was Joy and Jay.
I was with Joy and Jay. They were like, staying with me at the time. And they're like, oh, this is Sage.
So we share the commonality that Jay and Joy were staying with you, and then they came and stayed with me. Did I
Yeah.
steal them away?
It was fine.
It was
we
beautiful.
shared.
Okay, we were shared Jay and Joy. It's all good.
They're lovely people.
They're amazing.
And my first question was like, so how old are you?
And I said, I'm ageless.
We have an age difference that it took a while for me to understand that it means nothing.
So then I got pulled away a moment later into another conversation.
Yeah, someone introduced him to another woman.
and I ended up working there at the tonic bar at Air One for a while. And she was a regular there. And she would always come in and would want to record things that I was saying. I was like, wow, this lady's paying a lot of attention to me. But she's very flirtatious by nature. So even though she was in another world, in terms of sex and relationships, and I would flirt with her every time she would come in because I'd say, hey, it's great target practice. Like, I find something that works here, maybe it works somewhere else. And she would flirt right back, but there would be no depth or meaning to it. It was just, fun. And it
It
just
gave
like
good hugs. He came out from behind the bar.
And then, so that went on for about 9 months. And then one day she was in the nutrition department there with a friend, and they were trying on, the little scented moisturizer testers to see which they would like.
We realized how bad perfumes are for our hormones, so we decided to have something more alternative.
And she put on one and came up to me as I was working behind the bar, and she said, oh, what do you think of this one? It's lemongrass-like smell. And I said, I don't really like lemongrass that much, but if you put on something mango-scented, I'm yours in 2 seconds. And I didn't think anything of it. But this was finally the one that found its way through the armor and nailed her. She fully blushed, had to retreat to the parking lot and back to the car to
As you can
recompose
tell, I'm
herself.
not a blushing kind of woman. You really have to way out of my perceived comfort zone to make me blush. I think it's a one time in my life. And then my girlfriend's gonna be like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, wow.
And so still thinking that nothing was going to happen, we ended up through conversation. I accidentally tricked her into inviting me over. I wasn't pushing for an invitation. She thought I was asking for an invitation to come over and hang out. But so that happened. And I still thought nothing was going to happen. I was like, okay, we had one little flirty moment there. But
He was going to bring me these amazing wellness conference speeches. Just, it's a very good seduction move for me.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna bring those over and then.
And so still, I thought nothing was going to happen, but just in case, let me make a chocolate chia pudding packed with as many aphrodisiac herbs as possible, and put a couple of heart-shaped chocolates on top, put it in a container, and bring that over with me. Just in case. It would be wrong not to.
You already knew what she's doing.
I ring the doorbell and say, hey. She's like, oh, you brought me this. I was like, yeah, here, it's delicious. And she takes it and right away just puts it in the refrigerator and says, I'll have it later. It's like, crap.
Yep, I never ate it till the next day.
And so she sends, I still have the email, she sent it the next day.
We still have the email. I think I had like 3 multiple orgasms, like, where's a man, holy shit, what's going on in here? I had
From the pudding?
well, not just from the pudding. But what's going on in here? Oh, I guess there's no man around. He was like working. Yeah, that was some experience. It was my first introduction to aphrodisiac herbs. It was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
So you all want to know now what he put in the pudding?
yeah.
That was pretty funny.
I got the colonic pudding.
Right.
I like it.
Yours is a different
No,
formula.
and actually, we were just watching the thing, and from one of the speeches, you just ended up massaging my hips.
Oh yeah,
Really?
so we were talking
0
about
to
how
60. Hi, I'm your
like so
friend.
much trauma can be stored in the hips, right? Because if a woman has some kind of trauma, her mind and spirit is thinking, okay, this is not a safe environment to reproduce in, so let's tighten things up. Nothing's coming in here. And so that trauma then gets stored in that muscle tension. And so my personal experience has been like through massage and body work in the hip area, so much can be released.
He's 22
and
at
so
the
she's
time.
like, oh, will you like try on me? I don't think I have any trauma, but like, sure enough, a minute later, she has like this beautiful like 1 minute of crying, and then it's all gone.
What? I'm like there. I didn't have any. It was amazing. And then he said good night.
And then right, still there was nothing happening. A week later, we were hanging out again, and I thought nothing's gonna happen. I'm just hanging out with a beautiful woman. I'll learn how her mind works, and this will be like just a great life learning experience. And then suddenly she says, "I can't kiss you." I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that was in the cards." 2 minutes later, we're making out. A week later, but then we said, "Okay, we're just gonna be kissing friends."
We're gonna be kissing friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were really taking it slow.
A week later, we were no longer kissing friends.
I was like, yeah, you bring the stuff, come over next week. Happy birthday.
I was like,
that was his birthday
it was my
night.
birthday the next week.
Yeah, it was a slow get together, but it really. Now it's going to be in 10 days our 6-year anniversary. But
6 years.
I mean, known each other 7 years.
Wow. Wow. Congratulations. So, I know that a lot of people struggle with libido, struggle with feeling desire, feeling that like aliveness in their bodies and turn on and attraction for one another. Yesterday, our whole day was about create and crave. And we had a lot of fun yesterday, didn't we?
Yes!
So, I'm wondering why hormones, and this is a big topic, I still have not completely hacked my hormones, there's kind of all over the place. Why are they important for libido? What is the tie-in to sex? Because I think a lot of people don't understand that overall health and sexual health are very, very linked.
It's really hard to have one without the other. Basically, hormones act as like these master switches over so many other aspects of your health. It's like if you have this like family tree of different things that happen in your body, and the things that are if you have one above the other, it means it controls, down the line. The hormones are like right at the top and have this cascade effect. If you get your hormones wrong, everything downstream gets really weird. If you have your hormones right, it kind of fixes everything else downstream. So a lot of people focus on the downstream stuff, but don't go further upstream to what's causing problems with the hormones. And then you're always just treating symptoms. And it's kind of like whack-a-mole. You'll hit one and the other one will pop out because you haven't actually gone to the source. And it's especially true with sexual health because you don't get to a place of really amazing turn on and being in touch with your body and having all the right chemical mix in your body and brain to have great orgasms and turn on and everything without having hormone health first. It's like if you take the best Formula One race car driver, put him in an awesome, beautiful, fast car, but there's no gas in the tank, you're not going anywhere. you could have all the skills, you could
Best
have,
partner.
you know, the most amazing body or partner or any of it. If your hormones aren't there, you're missing the fuel to actually make things happen. You don't have the right chemical materials to get to where you want to be. And so it's a problem for guys these days, you know, is we're bombarded with so many estrogen chemicals all over the place, and we don't have the right ingredients in our diet to build testosterone. And then for women as well, because basically when you deal with hormones, it's like a game of musical chairs. You have a certain number of hormone receptors, and these can be filled by all kinds of different things. It can be filled by testosterone, it can be filled by estrogen, by progesterone, by DHEA. It can also be filled by xenoestrogens. These are chemical estrogens that you get from all kinds of different products in the modern world and chemicals that we run into. And these fill up those receptors, so your testosterone or your progesterone, for example, are no longer able to sit there. So there's herbs that we can, you know, take to approach this.
In wolves in sheep's clothing, they come in and they pretend that they're the good guys.
Right, because these, for example, one is BPA, you hear about as coming from, you know, plastic water bottles. It's a xenoestrogen. It'll come, look like an estrogen, sit in that seed, stop your other hormones from being able to get in there, and then you don't get the benefit of the good progesterone or the good testosterone or estrogen.
No, there are different kinds of BPAs. There's BPS. They say it's BPA-free container, but there is something else that's exactly like BPS. So
it's not just BPA. So what are some of the things that we've been doing? I think we all want to know, yes? What are we doing that's depleting?
All right. For example, just drinking from glass bottles would be extremely helpful, because that plastic bottle, leave it in your car, or using plastic and you put things into your microwave, that really just bleaches everything in it. It's fantastic for ladies to use royal jelly, because it's fantastic for raising up your estrogen. Sunscreen, oxybenzone, that's absolutely also another hormone that takes up the space of better hormones. Perfumes and cologne. So many times I'm joking and say, I get into an elevator, I would rather smell your farts than your perfume.
I would rather smell farts than perfume. Anybody else?
Because the phthalates in the perfume that actually allows that cologne and perfume stick on your skin and stick on your clothes, it's plastic. And it's so bad for you. So many of these things.
Yeah, it's so ironic, right, that people put on perfume and cologne to be sexy, when actually the compounds in the perfume and cologne are totally screwing up their hormone health and allowing them not to have healthy sexual function.
Oh yeah, also like Febreze. And just yesterday I go to doctors' offices and they have this Febreze plugged in. I'm like, please, don't you know any better?
That was actually a great story. A doctor told me their client was lactating. He was lactating, and she said, "What are you using? Any kind of like these products?" And he said, "Yeah, every day I'm spraying this in my car." He was sitting in his car with all his windows closed.
Oh my God.
Spraying himself with it every day, and he was lactating. As soon as they took that away, no more lactation.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that's what these, and we aren't aware that these, so if you have the little smell plug-ins, that kind of stuff in your house, I recommend, please, everybody, like, go be aware of.
Get an essential oil diffuser. There's other healthier options. You don't have to live in a stinky environment. There's plenty of good things you can do.
Oh, parabens as well, all of your personal care products.
Makeup have parabens. Actually, lubricants, you guys.
Oh, they are full of parabens.
Make sure you're using all natural lubricants. I'm making my own these days. I made a really good breast butter with cacao and avocado oil.
Oh my God,
so
so
yummy.
Have you tried living libations?
Love their breast oils.
We joking.
too.
Oh,
One of our favorites.
They really have great things for.
You can use chocolate. You can use coconut oil. Like there's a lot. I don't put it in my who unless I can eat it.
I like
4 years of who.
I like your parameters. I like your parameters are really good and healthy.
And one other thing to watch out for is conventional meat products that are fed all kinds of hormones, because the hormones fatten them up. And you eat those hormones fatten you up and also affect you hormonally. So if you're having animal products, you want it to be pasture raised, grass fed,
Grass finished.
Grass finished, it makes such a difference.
Yeah, you have so much to learn. Like you can't just go. It used to be because of the diet. Like some people, oh, I don't eat wheat or I don't eat dairy. Now it's rather where your food is coming from, like dairy, grass fed, from grass fed animals, or you just say, oh, organically fed animal. Really? Is it grain? GMO? Oh, great, thank you so much. You can keep it. So you have to learn how to read labels, and that's really challenging, especially tell a mother with 4 children who's running around and trying to have a full-time job, can you please take 2 hours over learning how to read labels and read them all? It doesn't happen.
And we have, I think I've read the statistic about this is the first era where our children are sicker than we are.
Right, where the
Oh, you make my heart hurt.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. So I think we can make not just a getting aware of this is not just a change in our sexual lives, but it's also a change in our culture, because the more we support these things, the more we're actually supporting getting rid of, we talked a little about the toxicity in the world, that we're, by getting more conscious and having conversation, helps us all to just lift the world up. And this is another, I think, way in which we lift the feminine up. I mean, to me, the earth is feminine, and another way in which we're doing that. So,
and just when you said conversation, a good news for us ladies, just by having very good girlfriends, great conversations, it raises your estrogen level and your oxytocin level.
yep.
It's important to understand that not only our diet and herbs and things like that and chemicals affect our hormones, but actually our lifestyle, right? So for girls, you
And
want to
people
build
who
your
are around you.
you want to build your estrogen, you want to build your oxytocin. So that can come a bit from a guy, from great cuddle time and skin to skin to build the oxytocin. But,
You're very good at it.
but too much oxytocin for a guy will make him more irritable and not as happy and lower energy in the long run. So it's good to have female-to-female communication time, as we like to call it in our relationship, because then you can build up those healthy female hormones, come back to your guy, you're feeling whole, you're feeling supported, you're feeling great, and it goes back evolutionarily, right? Guys, we go out and we hunt, we're quiet, we have, we're doing physical activity, and then on the women are maybe more gathering, and they're talking about all this stuff and chitter-chattering, and they're supporting each other, and guys, we're out, we're being quiet, we talk a little bit, we're serious about it, we're running around, and that's building our testosterone, and that's making our sex drive go up. And we come back, and we got the food, and we got the healthy guys and the healthy girls, and it all happens naturally.
And as we age, the progesterone level dips in women. So there are, of course, bioidentical creams that you can get, but just make sure that if you're having it in the compounding pharmacy, that you don't use the cream they have, but ask if you can bring your own. That's what I do, actually. And other very good ways like Vitex, chasteberry extract.
Chasteberry, I've told a couple times to take that one.
Yeah, just make sure that when you start taking it, you level it up, and when you stop taking it, you level it down. Never do it like very subtly.
Good to know.
And to get a bit into the herbs for guys as well, some amazing ones are, for example, Hoshu Wu, which is it's H-E space S-H-O-U space W-U. It's a root, and there's a really great bit of a myth behind this one, where there was this guy, his name's Mr. Ho, and that's where the group gets its name. And he was kind of an older guy, really feeble, had never had a lot of success in sex and relationships in his life. He wasn't healthy, he was going bald, and he was drunk one day and he fell asleep in the forest. And he woke up, and in kind of his still kind of drunken stupor, he looked at these vines and said, oh, those kind of look like a man and a woman intertwined making love. And he got the idea to dig up the roots, take them home, and cook them in a black bean soup. And he suddenly started to feel a bit more vigor and drive and vitality in his body. And so he started doing this every day. And as the legend goes, and this is a legend, so there's a bit of exaggeration, but it gives you an idea. He lived to the age of 130, grew back all his dark black hair, and had 70 children.
He got busy.
And then deer antler is another one. It's actually an alcohol extract of the tips of the deer antler. It's very androgenic, very supportive of.
And these are okay
hormones.
afterwards.
Yeah, it's not killing the deer. It's just like a little trim, because only the tip is actually the active part. And that's another great one. There's cistanch. Tribulus is another good one. That's really good for building the testosterone. And then Tomcat Ali. And that's one that you don't take every single day. You cycle on and you cycle off, but it's a fantastic herb that supports the male hormones, the androgens.
In
Tomcat Ali.
Tomcat, it makes you into a tomcat.
And we talked about how, it makes you into a tomcat. It's T-O-N-G-K-A-T space A-L-I. But sometimes the products that will have it, they call it Tomcat, because it's kind of a nice name, right? And then, so we talked about how you get a lot of these bad estrogens in your body. Now, how do you get rid of these? There's a great kind of a supplement you can take. It's a combination of two things. Indole 3-carbinol, and then DIM, which is diindolylmethane, but if you just do DIM, that will get you there. You just search that. And those two actually allow you to detoxify these bad hormones and free up the seats in that game of musical chairs for the good guys to come and be able to sit in it. So that can be really, really powerful. Just taking a good dose of that every day on an empty stomach for a month, even just that amount of time, it can be radically transformative.
What about those two amazing Chinese formulations, bupropion and peony and ginseng and lemon?
Oh yeah, so now to jump over for women, we want to build your hormones. So we have things like bupropion and peony, ginseng and longan. These are formulations that are building hormones and balancing and regulating hormones and also building blood for women during the good part of your life. You're losing a lot of blood every month. It's so essential to rebuild that for your health of your entire system and for your hormones as well.
Yeah, I love lingonberries.
Sometimes
soaking them and then putting that like a vanilla stevia or something on them and then blending them up in something.
I like to blend them in maybe with some kind of a tea because I find them very, very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so funny because we were joking that it also sometimes tastes like bacon.
They do taste like
So we
bacon,
make
like smoked bacon.
We make bacon ice
But
cream
sweet.
from it.
You make bacon ice cream?
Yeah, from that, yeah.
Wow.
Ice cream party next time.
Ice cream party next time. Yeah, who would be up for an ice cream party? Bacon ice cream made out of longanberries. No bacon in them.
During that time of the month, ladies, longanberries, yum yum, really good.
Yeah, and you can feel them. Like it's almost like you can feel the iron in them. Like I don't know, there's something when I eat them,
They're
it's
so
like I
juicy,
can feel
fresh.
it going in my blood.
Thank
So,
God for dragon herbs. We get a lot of our herbs from dragon herbs. They're great company.
love them. Okay, so what are your favorite? I always like to hear people's favorites. I guess I have two questions. I have, what are your favorite, I'm throwing a new one in here, superfoods? And then what's your personal routine?
My favorite superfood would be, which is not officially a superfood, I would say fat.
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 Oh, and let me be more specific. What's your favorite superfood for libido? 'Cause I think we want to know that.
Okay, that's a nice one. I like fat because it actually raises your good cholesterol. That turns into pregnenolone, which is, they call it the king of the hill because it makes all your good hormones. It turns into pregnenolone, turns into progesterone and into DHEA, and it makes both testosterone and your estrogens. So the fat-free diet, frankly, fucked America. Sorry. In every way. Like, first of all, you don't have enough fat, your brain doesn't work, your hormones
My
don't work.
hair fell out from not eating. My diet was don't eat any fat.
Yeah.
For many, many years. And I had that with a lot of hormonal challenges because fat also supports hormones.
Exactly.
So, and now I was 210 pounds,
On a fat-free diet, right?
Right, fat free.
right?
Yeah.
Eating, but I was eating like, I was a vegan, like raw, like vegetarian. And I was eating a lot of, there's fat in tofu, but I loved tofu. So I would just eat like soy.
Yeah, so soy, there's another big estrogen for you guys that people get way too much of, and especially in processed foods, you don't even think about it, but it's packed full of soy.
So I was eating everything with soy, and I was 210 pounds. I had double D breasts. Now I have like A's. I wish those would have stayed.
They're really good.
But now,
Pretty cleavage from
now I eat tons of fat. And the more, so I went on a ketogenic diet, and my body was like the best. I still struggle with eating meat, but because I was a vegetarian for so long, but it really changed a lot of things with my health and shifted things for me to go on a higher fat diet. And I remember Ian and I, we had to be careful when we go on high fat diets because we both get, like, we feel very virile. I'm like very afraid I'm going to get pregnant on a high fat diet. So you would go with fat.
I would say
As your
it's not an
superfood.
official as a
Which are your favorite
superfood.
forms?
Say what?
Favorite forms of fat to
Oh
explain
my
a little
God.
bit, because you're not having
Ooh.
corn oil and soybean oil, right?
Oh,
You gotta-
I love styrian pumpkin seed oil, coconut oil, avocado, nuts. I mean, I just love everything.
I could take baths in ghee.
Oh, ghee, my God, I have like spoonfuls of it. In my morning tonic, I think it's like 50% fat and 50% tonic herbs. And I just love butter. Butter. I can eat so much butter. Like, this is my bread and this is my butter. So my family jokes, would you like some bread on that butter? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Really good stuff. I think it's just, people shouldn't be afraid. I mean, people who didn't have that and they didn't feel good, and then they go to the psychiatrist and they give them Prozac, and then you have no brain and you have no sex, and then you just depressed. No, it was not. It was an unfair decision and bad information at the time. What would you say?
Yeah, so mine is chocolate. I first learned to make chocolate.
Chocolate and fat.
There you go.
I first learned to make chocolate in my late teens, and I was getting into health and nutrition, and I got excited about it for its health potential and its way that it could be
The health
a gateway
potential.
drug.
That's what you were excited
I was also
about.
thinking,
You're right.
I could say to girls, hey, we should hang out and make some chocolate, and I thought that would be a really great line.
It wasn't the blue eyes that got me.
And so that's how I eventually got AnnaBlanca. I seduced her with chocolate. In fact, once there was a time when I knew I was going to be away for at least 2 weeks because I was traveling, but
He was in
maybe
China
up to
collecting.
longer. Yeah, I was spending some time in China, and so I knew how much she would eat the chocolate because I'd gone away previously for a week, and she ate up all the chocolate I left her, and then within a couple days it was calling me and saying, "Hey, I ate the chocolate already. When are you going back?" And so.
I didn't know.
And so on this trip, I was, okay, I want to be strategic about this. I want to be real smart. So I left her some chocolate, and then I thought, like, I'd never seen her open, like, the bottom drawers in the refrigerator in this one, like, box that was kept in the freezer. I'd never seen her open, so I hid a bunch of chocolate into those spaces. My thinking being, in a week, she'll say, I don't have any more, and then I'll say, hey, open that bottom drawer. And then in 2 weeks, I'm going to send her into the freezer and get the other one.
I clean my fridge and freezer once a week. But he doesn't.
So she found it within like 2 days. She's like, did you leave a bunch of chocolate in that box of brown rice in the freezer?
That was nice.
So why
So it
chocolate?
lasted 4 days instead of 2.
Yeah. So why chocolate as an aphrodisiac? Chocolate is great for all kinds of antioxidants and minerals, but there's actually some really
Chromium, magnesium.
Yeah, so it's the highest source of magnesium, highest natural source of chromium, highest natural source of antioxidants. But it goes so much beyond that. There's some really interesting compounds in there, like PEA, which is long form is phenylethylamine. And that is known as the love bliss chemical, because it's what actually gets secreted in your brain when you're in love. That's why we have this whole Valentine's Day chocolate connection. It's not just something Hallmark made up. It's actually the real deal.
But in the raw chocolate.
Now, yeah, in processed chocolates, that is mostly actually damaged and destroyed. When you have a truly raw chocolate, you're getting all the PEA in its full intact form and getting the full love bliss chocolate experience. And then you also have things like serotonin, which we all know that's your happiness chemical. If your serotonin's low, the world could be great. You could have a beautiful partner and everything could be good, except you feel depressed no matter what. If your serotonin's high, you could have a lot of challenges in your life, but it's okay. You'll figure it out. You feel happy. And then you have anandamide, which is another bliss chemical. It just creates that amazing sense of euphoria. And then chocolate creates such a great delivery vehicle for all these other aphrodisiac herbs that we love to put in there. So it could just be the chocolate, or it could be everything else coming along with it, but it works really well.
Yes. Yes. And we're going to have a lot of those after. Yes. And then we actually also brought some elixir blends that have these herbs in.
So tell us what you brought, since we're kind of there. I have a couple more questions.
So the chocolate that you guys have in your seats, that's our love chocolate. It's our aphrodisiac chocolate. Everyone's going for it now. Now you understand why it was there.
Oh, you guys gave everybody a sample.
Yeah.
But we have
Ready to go. So what's in here? You have herbs like cistanche, which is great at bringing blood flow down to the genital regions.
Yay, blood flow down.
The actual plant, cistanche, looks like an erect penis.
Yeah, most of the herbs
nature knows what
that we
it's doing.
use in this chocolate, if you look at pictures of them, they generally look like erections. Or you have mucuna, and you look at a picture of that, it looks like dicks hanging from a tree. It's pretty bizarre.
Absolutely cracks me up. Have you seen mucuna?
I haven't seen mucuna, but cistanche. I have,
yeah.
and then the whole joke about cistanche in your pants.
Right.
Doesn't it translate to something like Woodstock, or isn't it like strong wood? Or
Yeah, it's like it's tall. If I remember correctly, tall erect stalk.
Tall erect stalk is cistanche.
Yeah, we do well with it.
So they gave it a good description.
Yeah, and you also have black ginger in here. It's another herb that we've recently incorporated. It comes from Thailand, actually, and you can just kind of immediately feel the circulation increase.
Oh, I like ginger. You want to sell it? It's expensive, but
I've been into black garlic lately too.
Oh,
There's a restaurant
nice.
in Boulder, and they have the black garlic butter. That now I mean, this is so gross for me to say. I have shame in my body about it. So I didn't eat meat since I was 5. That's for a very long time. Like, I was a vegetarian, vegan person, and then now I'm doing this whole ketogenic thing. And there's this place that does grass-finished, grass-fed, local, everything, you know, cool stuff. They have a hamburger that's like that big, and then they put bacon on top of it and cheese on top of it, and then I take the garlic butter and put that on top of it.
Look at
The
you.
black garlic butter, and I ate a whole one the other day. Usually I can eat one bite, and then I'm like, okay, enough. That's I can have one bite. Wow. I ate the entire burger.
Yeah.
I felt pretty good after that.
Your hormones must have gone like,
Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, it was like a car revving. Okay, so what are your like personal practices? Like, what do you guys do just to stay vital, healthy, alive, like horny, all that kind of good stuff? What do you do? Usually, you might not need horny.
like,
'cause you
until
just-
now we sort of like talked about for basic hormone health.
Mhm.
So we can talk about some things that are more aphrodisiac, but for our personal lifestyle, I think it's always shifts for whatever we're going with our health at the
working
time.
on?
Like there's a basic underlining, like Sage is vegetarian, born and raised. He was raised in a meditation center, really. And I was raised in a Hungarian countryside where my dad was a veterinarian and brought home fresh meat. It was from a slaughterhouse, so it was really different, our lifestyle. But I cook for both of us. I cook the vegetables. He's the blender chef who makes all the other kind of stuff. And we incorporate a lot of superfoods, incredible amount of tonic herbs. Oh, right now, the Chocolate magazine actually asked us to do this article about what's in your pantry, what's in your fridge, what do with your lifestyle, so it's coming out soon. We just went through this whole thing last week. What would you say is like the most basic that we both use?
Just I mean, like just to step a little bit outside of just like diet and supplements into other lifestyle things as well, because it's not, you know, the food is one arena, the herbs are an arena, you know, sexual practices is one arena. I also am really big into the Wim Hof method and using that to tap into the nervous system, to get into the cold. That is like, it's my happy place.
Did you see my orgasm in the bathtub they caught? The photograph, I have it on my Facebook. I'm in an ice bath and that was the most epic orgasmic experience, I won't say ever, because I have a lot
in
of
the ice bath? I got core.
I was hardcore in an ice bath, and then I got out, and other people
nice.
in the room started orgasming because of the energy coming off my body after the ice bath. Because the Wim Hof breathing is so similar to orgasmic breathing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so anyway, keep going. Wim
Yeah,
Hof.
no, and when you get into the more advanced stages of it, there's a very similar DMT release that can happen. It's very much similar
Explain
to
DMT because some people may not know.
So DMT is it's dimethyltryptamine. It's known as like the god chemical. It can be released. It's released. They say that the moment when you're entering the world and the moment you're exiting the world, and also like during really spectacular orgasms. So when you kind of like are having visions and seeing colors and like just out of this world.
Who would like one of those?
And so it's actually produced in part in the lungs, and so through breathing practices like this, you can actually produce it on command as a result of the breathing practice. So it's the peak of the Wim Hof method and the peak of the orgasm actually have a really interesting crossover, and I think they both make you better at the other one.
And if you want to make it sexual, you just do the same thing, but you contract and relax your pelvic floor. And I do a choo-choo train where I just build up the speed.
Very good, don't stop now.
And that's the difference with an imagine getting massaged, or getting your genitals stroked, or getting yourself licked, or having some kind of sexual stimulation with the breath, or some kind of intense sensation. I like to do it with the ice as well, because it's just like, it's intense sensation that helps me move. The breath helps me move any kind of intense sensation actually through my whole body and start to expand the intense sensation out. It's a great way also, guys, male-bodied people who want to learn ejaculation control to start using breath like this to actually control ejaculation too. So it has lots of different benefits.
Absolutely.
So why don't we just quickly tell about aphrodisiac herbs, because we got,
So one important thing to
because we don't run out
understand,
of
we touched on a bit of aphrodisiac herbs. Now the thing to understand is a lot of what we mentioned have been hormone supporting herbs, right? And there's two kind of classes of herbs that we talk about here, because you want to get your hormones in place, because as we talked about earlier, if you come to the magical moment but you don't have your hormones there, you have no gas in the tank, you could have a ton of aphrodisiac herbs and it may help a bit, but not that much. But on the other hand, if your hormones are all ready and there's gas in the tank and then you hit the pedal, Yeah, the car's ready to go.
Then,
Yeah.
you have like a big bonfire and you bring the matches.
Yeah. So when we talk about aphrodisiac herbs, it's a little different for men and women. A lot of overlaps. So as we mentioned, like DRAM herb is one that's more just for men. Tomcat is for men. Ones that can go for both. We have like Sistanch. We have Mucuna, and I know there's a part about Mucuna you love to talk about.
Oh, I love mucuna because it is one of the only 2 herbs in the world that is a natural high source of HGH, which is youth hormone, and we love to stay beautiful and vital, right? And also mucuna is highest natural source of L-DOPA, which is a precursor of dopamine. And dopamine is in your brain, reward and pleasure center. So
You have more dopamine going on, you're going to have more reward, more
And I
pleasure
just
in
want to
life.
make sure that everybody can hear what the herb is. Can you spell it for
mucuna,
them?
M-U-C-U-N-A, mucuna. Mucuna pruriens, it has a very nice
Mucuna
last name.
matata, that's how I remember.
No worries for the rest of your day. It's an antidepressant. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not an antidepressant that
But
doesn't
if
take away your
somebody,
sex drive.
when somebody's taking some for medication for depression, then they should check it out because it would need a different.
Yeah, there's of course if you're taking medications, there's contraindications for things.
Yeah.
But with Mucuna, I know the part you really want to talk about. You haven't said yet.
Which one?
The animal studies.
Oh, animal studies. You're absolutely right. They also noticed that if mucuna was given to animals, they spent so much longer time in the mounted position,
Mounted position.
and much less time in between mounted positions.
Uh-huh.
So you read into that.
The shorter intervals in between, the more time in the activity.
Exactly. And
Or
there is
Mucuna.
shatavari, which is one of my favorites. It's an Ayurvedic herb.
It's in my breast balm that I just made.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
You know,
I
it's
love
actually.
that one. Very good.
No, I don't know what that is. And I love it because it translates to she who has 100 husbands.
She who has 100 husbands.
Doesn't mean, ladies, that you have to watch the underwear and the socks of the 100 husbands. It means you get strong enough hormones to be able to deal with them.
Some people
It's
say shatavari,
Shatavari.
and I always say shatavari. Maybe
I
I've
think
said
your way is
it wrong.
actually correct.
Shatavari.
Your way is
Shatavari,
actually correct.
shatavari. I've heard it different ways.
It's Shatavary. Yeah, it's one of the most incredible herbs for women's hormones.
Yeah, and that is euphomia. Euphomia is made from a tree bark. And it's very interesting because almost every single Chinese formulation that's for virility or fertility contains euphomia. And it's extremely good for fertility. And then it's, it slows down ejaculation, which absolutely, it's a great
Slows
use.
down ejaculation. Did you guys hear that one?
Okay, now if we're talking about that, another one we gotta touch on is
No, but I want to say one more thing
Oh,
about
okay,
euphomia,
okay,
which I
okay,
think is
okay.
fantastic. That it's better for your knees. And the sac will involve your knees. So you want good, strong, and healthy knees.
And we have a lot of bad knees in this room. I remember when we went through with the S Factor class. So euphomia,
Euphomia. E-U-C-O-M-M-I-A, euphomia.
Okay, and then
Go on.
And then, well, let's finish spelling this one because I'm for sure going to have to spell the next one. Schizandra, which is Schizandra. It's a Chinese berry, and it works in so many ways. It's a great aphrodisiac. It's what's called the 5-flavor fruit. It's sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and pungent. If you're a shapeshifter, this was made for you. You get everything you could ever want, right? Now, it has a locking effect, so it helps to slow down ejaculation. It helps you last longer. Now, for the women, it's also great for you. In the traditional Chinese texts, they say it increases the quantity of secretions of the female elixir, is what they call it. I'll let you guys enjoy that. So, and it also improves female sensitivity in the genitals. So it's magical for men, for women. It's a party in your mouth flavor-wise. It's all around
And they
amazing.
have these extracts from dragon herbs, goji and schizandra together. It is so delicious.
Body
Goji and
reveal.
schizandra.
Body
It's an
reveal,
extract.
because my pussy's buzzing, talking about, who else's pussy's buzzing? She started buzzing, talking about Schizandra. It was also used by courtesans, right? Like, it was one of the herbs of the courtesans to use Schizandra. Pearl, I think, was another one, right?
And pearl and schizandra, those are also both great for the skin and preventing wrinkles and
Beautiful.
tightening the skin. And it's how the beauties of the Orient have this like famous, pearl, beautiful skin all the
And
time.
tremella, but it's a whole other conversation. But we have tremella and elixir blends, so we cover all bases.
You covered all the bases.
Yeah.
Beauty, inside out, health, yes.
So you guys have
some chocolates for us, yes. So that they have a lot of these herbs in them.
They will
So-
taste the same.
We do different chocolates, so we have different chocolates for different functions. So we have, I think the most popular one here is going to be the love chocolate. And then we have the recharge chocolate, which is great for hormones, so keep that in mind as well. Love is more the in the moment aphrodisiacs, recharge is more setting the foundation of the healthy hormones.
There's
And then things like focus, energy, tranquility, beauty.
And they have a lot of the herbs you've been talking about.
Herbs we've been talking about, they each have similar flavor, but different herbal formulations in each one.
Okay, and then what else did you bring us?
And then we also do a line of elixir blends, which are powders that you can just mix with like a cup of almond milk, hot or cold, or even coconut milk. And the ones we brought today are the caramel flavor, and so these have herbs for focus and energy, which you need, you know, in days like this.
Tremella. What else is it?
Cordyceps, tremella, lion's mane, which is great for the brain. And cordyceps is another sex tonic herb as well, for men and women.
I'm fascinated by cordyceps.
Cordyceps.
Yeah.
When I
Because
tell
they're like little worms,
Yeah.
Right, so the ones we use are vegan cordyceps. They're grown in a laboratory, but
Okay.
wild
oh, I love the
cordyceps.
story of that.
So wild cordyceps is the most expensive herb in the world, $15 million a
For
ton.
1 ton.
Wow.
crazy.
And then this
expensive.
lab decided that they do the C3 and C4, the two different strains of it, and they kept trying to figure out how to get it on or get married.
They wanted to crossbreed these two strains, and they were
And then they would-
resistant.
And then somebody, I absolutely have no idea what went through the mind of this person, said, let's put snake venom in it. And it broke down their enzymes, they didn't get it. Now they are getting it on and have a stronger strain than the one in the wild.
They're kinky herbs. They needed a bit of snake venom.
Yes! I love when you say stuff like that.
That's like a snake bite, right?
Okay, that's going a bit too far. So yeah, so we have that cordyceps. It's really, it allows your body to utilize oxygen better. So you have more focus. You can focus on your partner. And I have more energy. Well, it's always good to have energy in the
So cordyceps in the wild are a bug that gets eaten by a fungus, right?
The other way around. So it's a fungus that will infect a bug, take over its nervous system,
Yeah.
force it to crawl up to the highest point in the local environment, kill it, and then from that high point you'll shoot off its spores to infect as many others as possible. It does not have this effect on humans, only on insects.
Yeah,
Don't
but
worry.
it's the zombie herb. That's how I got it.
Yes,
I call it zombie herb.
it is like a zombie. It's infecting. All
It's
of the
very
little
fascinating,
worms.
but actually when you take it, it's so beneficial for the human system.
Yeah.
Incredible. Nature is fascinating.
Completely fascinating. Okay, I see the sign back there, but I do want to take a couple questions. So who has questions for them? Because I think there's always something amazing that comes out of questions.
And then I will tell you later because you want to know which one will be for which.
Oh, great. Oh, I want to talk about that now.
I knew you would.
Yes, so they have here a secret here. Which blueprints would have the best herbs for their shadows?
All
I want
right.
to go ahead.
So the energetic that gets overwhelmed.
So energetic, you're prone to becoming overwhelmed, right? So there we have reishi mushroom and ashwagandha, which is reishi is R-E-I-S-H-I.
We have it in the translated.
Marty, are you taking notes for me? Okay, good. Thank you.
They call it the herb of immortality, spiritual potency. It's really
Gets
good
you
to bring
out of your mind into your heart, calms down the nervous system.
Ashwagandha is an Ayurvedic herb. And very much
And you have ashwagandha that works kind of in a similar way, really chills you out, balances you out. It's good
I
for the
take
brain.
ashwagandha and reishi daily.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
You're. She's on a whole other level. Sensual. Shizandra.
So you want to get into your body? My vote there was for Shizandra. It's this full
So if
body
you have
experience.
trouble in your head and you want to get into your body, Shizandra will be a
Right,
good
it
herb.
stops you from stressing, and it also has, in the Chinese system, it enters all 12 energetic meridians of your body. So for getting into your body, nothing's better than that.
Wow. Okay, and I felt that one in my body when you guys talked
And you
about
call me
it.
up because it's very grounding.
Yeah, Euconia as well, as she mentioned, is very grounding. It's working in your body, it's strengthening your tendons, your ligaments, so it's like very grounding and making you present in your body and feeling.
Awesome.
And then there is sexual.
Sexuals.
You know?
And we're going back again to Shizandra because it really slows you down as
Right,
well.
so sexually you get a bit carried away, right? And so Shizandra slows things down, gets you producing the female elixir, gets the guy like, whoa, easy there.
All right, and kinky.
Yeah,
Who
so
likes to spice things up.
kinky, my natural thought there was cayenne. You like things a little bit fiery, go for it.
And I said, if you're kinky kinky, but you still like want to go with the flow. I said reishi, but
Yeah, because self-acceptance can be a thing, right, for the kinky population. And so reishi is one that gets you out of your head and into your heart, more into a place of pure love and self-acceptance. And just kind of seeing the Tao and all of nature of which you are a part of. So reishi can be a useful one or two.
And then the shapeshifters, we just try whatever shadow.
Honestly-
Take it all, put it all in tonic,
Take
mix
it
it all
all.
up.
All right, I'll
Or
take
Shazandra for the shapeshifters we were seeing, because you get all 5 flavors.
get all 5 flavors, right. So I'll take 2 questions, and then we're gonna have our aphrodisiac party. So Yehuda, the sexual ones, can you read the sexual
Oh,
ones?
yeah.
Yeah, so
section was a Shizandra.
Shazandra, that was the one we talked about earlier, the Chinese berry, SCH. Yeah, it works really well for both. Awesome.
So Yehuda has our first question, and David has our second. Oh, yeah.
I'll speak loud. Hi, thank you so much.
Hey.
Hi. I was curious, there's so many herbs and stuff that you listed, it's so amazing. Do you take all of them every day? How, how would you like create a recipe? Like, is it a daily practice of taking them? Do you take everything every day?
Yeah, so there's lots of formulations that will incorporate lots of these, but you can also go the route of customizing it for you and taking individual herbs. And it's more about trying different ones and seeing what affects your body in the best, because we all have a bit of a different internal chemistry and different energetic bodies, and we're unique in so many ways, right, if we've learned anything. And so,
Just to say, like, I tried Sustanch, and
Right.
I felt like it had the opposite effect on me.
Okay.
Like, it didn't do anything, and it kind
So
of
there,
made
you found
me
one
feel
that-
weird. But I'm wondering,
But
like,
maybe like also the sourcing could
So
be
yeah,
important.
I mean, there's always, it's tricky, because there's always the question of, was it a good source? Was it a good substantial product? But my favorite way to do it is get a powdered extract of the herb. Now, you gotta watch out, because lots of companies just sell the raw powder, which was not gonna do that much. It has to be an extract powder. You take half a teaspoon or a teaspoon, put it in like 4 ounces of hot water, stir it up, and drink that on its own. The flavor will be intense. It's not gonna taste delicious like in some of the drinks that we make. But that way, you're having one herb at a time, getting the full experience of that herb and seeing what it does to your body without confusing it with other things.
Pay attention
As
what
you go on, you can, get a bit more intricate and make wild elixirs with 10 different herbs in them.
we have a lot of those recipes on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we do. We have, on our
How to
YouTube channel,
make
we
it
have
like taste better.
recipes and things. I'll have it make it taste good. But I love, in the beginning, when you're first kind of going through this discovery, to take them individually and really feel what they do in your body, rather than overcomplicating it and doing a lot of things at once, because then you don't know, what did what.
And you guys have a YouTube channel, you mentioned. Where can they go to?
Just go to youtube.com/addictive wellness.
And because all of these things, they don't really taste all that wonderful. you were like,
I was so about Shazandra. I took Shazandra and put it in a blender with strawberries, and I just kept dumping the Shazandra in there because I'm a more is better kind of human, so I'll just throw it. But I'm very sensitive. It was the most awful tasting thing,
and Shizandra is one of the best tasting herbs out there.
Right, and so it was so bitter. And then, so what I did was I put it in ice cubes to try to salvage it because there was so much money. I was like, I pearl powder just in. Like, make sure you taste things along the way. They'll just dump the herbs in.
And that's why, like, when you're testing out, but you're still getting the taste, because the taste is a part of these things, right? Like, not everything in life is super sweet. Some things are bitter and challenging. Some things are like, not easy in life. And it is good,
We
like,
make
to have
tonics
the
and we
fullness
make
of that
ice
experience.
cream,
And then,
so
like, once you get to know the herb and have a relationship with it, then you get into the sweetness, and you can kind of make it into a
oh,
delicious
that's so
elixir.
sweet. The herbs, I like that.
Okay, one more question. I think David had a question.
You addressed it already.
We addressed it
Oh,
already. Okay. All right, so we will take a break and you guys can ask any other questions.
She had
a.
Oh, that lady.
Do herbs do you find that they work right away, or are they more like vitamins where you kind of have to layer them in daily?
Both. So there with lots of them, there's an immediate effect, and it will, a lot of it will depend on your internal body health. Like, if your hormones are like kick-ass, then the immediate stuff is going to happen a lot more. But there's the immediate effect, and then there's a cumulative building effect when you're taking it on a daily basis, and you're just kind of like creating these new pathways in how your body functions and works.
That's a great thing about these traditional systems. For 4,000 years, they've been studying these herbs. So they know that they have like immediate and accumulative effect, and they're adaptogenic. So sometimes I take so much of it, I'm still feeling absolutely fine and feel the benefits, and sometimes I don't take them for days. depends on how I can do it in my life.
And energetics, you may be more sensitive to them as well. So like I'm hypersensitive. I remember Jay and Joy brought me some ashitaba. And I
love it.
smelled the herb and I instantly had like a like total orgasmic wave go up my spine. Just smelling the freaking thing. So some
So
people
good
are
for blood
hypersensitive to things. Like I can just hold something or smell it and have a reaction, and then other times I don't have anything. So the more energetic I tend to be, the more that I'm affected by the herbs. Okay, who is salivating for chocolate?
Oh, yeah, let's have some more.
Okay, so say your YouTube channel again, because I'm not sure everybody got it.
So you can find us online at addictivewellness.com, and then our YouTube channel is just youtube.com/addictivewellness.
You know, on this little chocolate thing that we gave you on,
Yeah, you
on
got our
the
name on there, so
website,
you find
but
us.
we have cards and
Great. So for those of you who are watching at home, addictivewellness.com and Addictive Wellness on YouTube, find them.
Same on Instagram and Facebook, Addictive Wellness. You'll
And
find us.
hi,
Yeah,
Erotic
maybe-
Freedom Club. Let's all say hi to them.
Hi,
Yay, we miss
Wow,
you.
that echoes from here. I like that.
I like that too. I didn't work.
I'm in a spot. Oh, this is the. I thought it was the echo. Damn it.
All right, so they have an amazing treat. They're going to be here. Talk to them. They have. Do you have chocolates for sale as well?
Yeah, so we also
So
have
if you
chocolates
want
for
to
sale.
take
You
some
guys
stuff
have
from
good
home,
stuff.
elixirs, stuff. You got it all.
We didn't bring elixirs just to taste.
We got the chocolates,
We got the
But you
chocolates.
got chocolates. Okay, and you guys made a plate for me. Okay, because Jaiya wants to make something. I'm sneaking it home.
I'm gonna go eat some too.
in my room.
Make sure you guys say what's over here, because it'll be a loud rush and you won't be able to hear what it is, what's over
Yeah,
here.
so to give you guys a little quick background on the chocolate, all of our chocolates are totally raw, sugar-free, and they each have different
Vegan,
formulations.
ketogenic.
Yeah, vegan, ketogenic, gluten-free, of course, no chocolate has gluten
No
in it.
soy, no GMO, no crap.
Yeah, so pure as can be, and they each have these different formulations of Chinese and Ayurvedic herbs for the different functions. So we hope you'll enjoy it.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, before we go, we do have to feed them. So what did you just get out of the session? Very quickly, I know Dawn, she's like back there like clenching. So a couple of feedings, because that's just how we roll. We have to at least feed them with what did you get out of this session? And
It will be delicious and exciting to up the energy.
Thank you so much.
Kyle,
All right.
David.
I'm going to do natural hormone enhancement. Forget what my doctor said.
Wow.
I just love your beautiful energy and the love.
Oh, thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. How are you from here?
I want to hear someday about the Hungarian and Russian and Siberian herbs.
Oh, I don't think
Well,
Hungarians
chocolate
have.
is coming from
Java is from
Siberia,
Siberia.
not as much from Hungary.
And actually, Tribulus is from Bulgaria, which is the best one.
Neighbors.
Neighbors. But I don't think Hungary has amazing healing waters. That's what we are most famous and good mud. But I don't think we have tonic herbs. Not that I know. But.
This is maybe similar, because I don't know what's in the back of his head, but I appreciated your acknowledgement of the indigenous wisdoms and epistemologies where these came from, because I think a lot of other cultures have lost their knowledge of that through colonization and forms of oppression. So maybe the Hungarian herbs are out there, but they've been lost. So thank you for acknowledging that. Thanks for not just co-opting it and saying this is our product.
Absolutely.
We always love that no other time in the whole world we were able to enjoy things as we are right now, because our chocolates is a combination of South American superfoods, Ayurvedic herbs, Chinese tonic herbs, some other things we just said earlier from other places in the world. We are so privileged, we are so blessed that in one place I can just have that. It's, you never take it for granted.
Beautiful, one more.
Just out of curiosity, where do you source your actual cacao from?
From Ecuador.
And it's
It's not just,
Nacional.
yeah, it's not just any cacao.
It's not just any cacao, it's heirloom, Arriba Nacional. It's just only 1% of the whole cacao production in the whole wide world is this one. And because it's so high quality, it's not even fat rate, it's beyond fat rate. All the workers get paid so much higher wages than fat rate.
Do you sell that also?
Cacao powder.
So we
do.
sell it as a powder. We sell it as a raw cacao powder. Yeah. We don't have it here today, but you can check it out on our website.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you, let's give them a big thank you.